No, no, no.
Hi,
Hello and
Dave.
welcome back to Remembering Tuscola webcast. I'm David Porter. I'm here with Mike Carroll and Bill Englehardt, our experts on, well, everything.
Well, he
So,
finally got it right.
I think yeah, it took a while, but
Yeah,
okay.
he's been around long enough to actually realize
Mhm.
what a gem he
Well,
has with us.
this week I've been reading poetry. I've been reading folk tales
Yeah.
and reverting back to when I taught school, Hans Christian Andersen,
Yeah. Finish this poem for me. Roses are red.
Violets Are Blue.
You're doing good.
Yeah. Do you remember The Emperor's Clothes?
Yes. I
Oh,
wear
that's
them all. Wear them
wonderful.
every night when I go
Yeah,
to
that's
bed.
wonderful. Kind of applicable at
So Bill,
times.
here's Bill. He's retired, but he's still working his mind.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about teaching.
Yeah.
I
He's
would read
he,
The Emperor's Clothes to the
yeah.
kids.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Bear Rabbit. You got any Bear Rabbit stuff for us?
Oh, that was good.
Yeah.
Not supposed to read that though anymore.
so the Emperor's Clothes, what was that originally like a um, fable or?
You
'Cause
know,
I
it
think
was no,
Mark Twain wrote a
it
piece.
was written in the 1830s. It was a very old story, and the kids used to, oh, it was so funny at the end, because of what the circumstances were. But everyone should go back and read that. I think it'd be a good one to read now.
I'll take it under advisement.
Okay. Maybe later on today we
I'm
can.
up to about 1880.
I don't want to go backwards. I'm trying to go forwards.
Well, 1830 is a
That's not
good
bad.
start.
Yeah, we started watching 1923 on your recommendation.
Oh, did you like it?
So far,
Good.
we've only been maybe 2 or 3 episodes. So,
Well, I like the actor and actress, so that helps.
yeah.
I like Casablanca, and over your shoulder it looks like the Maltese Falcon, almost.
Yeah, I thought it was an eagle.
Could be. I'm not up close to it, but it looks like the Maltese Falcon.
Yeah, I can't reach it or I would
But
bring it.
don't hurt yourself. Don't hurt
No,
yourself.
it's all right.
You burn the house down, that cigar will fall.
I put it back to arms.
Well, we're ready to identify everything today. We got our memory hat on. Bill's 1830. I hope these pictures around 1830. Bill would get them all.
Well, let's see what we got. I think they're more 1958.
Oh, 58.
58.
Great
Oh,
year.
yeah. I was 11 years old.
Great year.
So sounds like you're batting 1,000 already.
We are. That's two older guys.
I don't have any names on there.
He looks familiar on the left. I don't know one on the right. I don't know. You got him? I'll let you have this one. I'll get the
No, I
next one.
don't. I don't.
Got any names?
I don't have anything on that one either.
Yeah, this is at the
Republican women here.
This is at the community building.
Yeah.
And that's a Coca-Cola sign, and in the back there's a 7-Up machine. Coke
Yeah,
machine.
there used to be back about 58. I'm saying this is about 58.
They have name tags on. So this must be some sort of
Conclave.
yeah.
So we don't know who they are, but they didn't know each other either.
No, they didn't. It was
didn't.
a reunion of Republican women.
Well, that's probably a safe bet. Oops. There you go. I went too far.
Oh, the guy on the left.
Oh, that's we know him.
Yeah, we do.
Mm-hmm.
Guy Barnes.
Guy Barnes. Who else?
Guy Barnes on the left. I see a pack of cigarettes there. Who used to smoke?
Do you well, wait a minute. We've got a fishing rod laying out here.
Somebody retired.
We got a Bible.
Yeah.
Guy Barnes worked for the power company for CIPS.
Gas company.
And so I don't know. I can't get them.
You are really close. You guys are really warm on this one.
I got one.
Yeah, Guy Barnes.
Retirement, CIPS.
Becky Barnes Hollinsby says it's Guy Barnes, Dugan Barnes, Howard Barnes, and Harlan Henderson.
Howard
Grandpa,
Barnes, a great Harlan Henderson in the back.
That doesn't look like Harlan to me.
That
oh,
doesn't-
that's what she says. She says it's Grandpa Barnes' retirement party from CIPS.
Yeah.
Now, was this the Barnes that was such a great football coach?
Well, no, that was Howard. Well, yeah. Did she say Howard Barnes?
Mm-hmm.
Howard Barnes went up to Wheaton
Uh-huh.
and then the Hall of Fame coaching. I wrote Rick McGuire, my cousin, and I wrote a book on the history of Tuscola 40 years ago. And we listed the great Tuscola football coaches. And Dolores, Harlan Henderson's wife, Dolores, who was a Barnes, I think, got me on the street and chewed me out because I left out the greatest Tuscola coach of all. I go, who's that? Who did I miss? And she said, Howard. And I knew about Howard from talking to Dick Helm. I said, well, this is Tuscola coach. She said, well, he's a Tuscola coach. I said, no, I'm coached at Tuscola. Yeah, Howard went to Wheaton and is Hall of Fame, great football coach.
Yeah. I mean, I don't recognize that as Harlan.
That's Harlan back in 58. I didn't recognize him.
But it is an auctioneer type.
Well, it could be Harlan. It could be young Harlan.
If you put a hat on him above his eyes.
Put some glasses on him.
Yeah.
This is 25 years before I knew him.
Well, that could be. I'm not saying it's not Harlan. I'm just saying that I would not have recognized that as
I wouldn't recognize it. Oh, Grover Helm in the center.
Yeah.
And to his right, it looks familiar.
That's not Slusky, is it? Herman
Who
Slusky.
had the Who had the car dealership?
Well, Buick
uptown?
Pontiac was Floyd Grubb in the 60s,
Well,
early 60s.
that's true, but this is
Did Slusky have it before him?
well, Floyd Grubb had his own independent car chain for a while. He was Pontiac at one time.
Buick. Yeah, he was down where the corner grocery
Yeah.
used to be.
The fellow on the right, though, or his right, Grover's right.
Yeah, well, that's
You know who it is. I'll give you a hint, Bill.
Okay.
Alan Mitchner had the name.
Oh, gee, man.
well, Alan Mitchell knows everybody.
Yeah.
But that's also a hint.
Well,
Mitchner?
that's Mitchner's grandfather.
Fred Mitchner.
Fred Mitchner
Mm-hmm. That's why he looked familiar.
looks just like Alan.
Grover Helm and he says Mr. Fox.
Oh yeah, sure, that's Mr. Fox.
Mm-hmm.
Who's Mr. Fox? Never heard of him.
I've never heard of Mr. Fox.
I'd love to have that car though.
Boy, wouldn't
Mr. Fox, he's looking over at Mrs. Hen.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
that's good.
Now, tell me what building that is behind.
Looks like the depot.
I think it's a depot.
Yeah, but look at those wheels on that car.
Yeah.
Look at that car. That's perfect shape.
Fred Mitchner.
Alan says probably a rotary event, but with the old car, I don't know. Could be old fashioned days, but of course this is 1958. So
Yeah.
did they have old fashioned days in 1950? I think they did, didn't they?
I don't know. They had them in the 60s.
Early 60s.
Well,
That's across from the community building.
Some kind of parade, and I assuming that previous picture had something to do with this same parade.
Possibly.
yeah, could be. We used to have a marching group when I was in charge of it in the 70s for a couple of years. Took it over from Bob Hastings. There was a black marching group, drum majors, and the guys would march. And I saw them in Decatur and got them to come. It was like the inauguration. Did you see that? Mississippi College band.
Yeah.
They had 5 guys look like gymnasts strutting.
You got the depot back here again.
Depot. You got the old building that housed the pharmacy for Dunn's Pharmacy.
Dunn's Drugs and
One in the middle there, that's no longer
that's,
there.
that's actually was known as the Lamb Building, I think.
Mhm. The whole,
The whole building.
yeah.
He had his plumbing business there, didn't he?
Mhm. Yeah, he did.
Building on the right is still there, and of course the Quonset hut type building is still there.
The old Eisner's. Of all the depots we could have restored, I think that was the one we should have restored right across from the community building.
Mhm.
There's the old Tuscola National
That's Ronnie Stabler.
on the left, and that's
Thompson.
That's Jerry Thompson,
Right.
Ronnie Stabler, and
Oh boy.
we see anybody else there?
Looks like Milos Thomas.
I can't tell.
Alan says the white cap is E.R. Dick Hoke.
Yeah, Home Construction is right.
He's right.
He and Jim Allen helped build the USI during the heyday. Big contractors.
And you got Warren Thompson, right?
Warren Thompson,
Warren
first one.
Thompson.
His brother was Jerry, I think, Tinkle Thompson, and then old Ronnie. When I was a young kid, you saw Ronnie, you just ran because he'd win a wrestle, and he always won. You ever wrestle Ronnie?
No.
No, you don't want to wrestle any of the Stablers. I didn't want to beat Max in pool. I was afraid he'd hit me over the head with a pool cue. The Stabler boys were tough hombres.
Neat picture.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
Bill Betzel on the right. Isn't that Bill here in the suit?
I don't know. It looks too heavy for Bill Betzel.
He gains in 1958. He gained about 10 pounds.
Did he?
I have no idea. This could be out of town. This looks like an out of town drill team.
Yeah, but I thought those might be local, but who knows?
I don't see Wizzo there. Okay, who was back when they had conductors? I mean, what they call the guy at the end of the train?
Oh. He's not the brakeman. He just rode in a caboose.
Yeah, caboose man.
Don't know who it is, though.
And this device is where they leave messages for
Yeah,
you drive
I
by.
can see he's doing something there with it.
Yeah.
Well, a couple of people thought they were either train orders or getting the mail, but
Well,
not very much mail if it's mail.
Yeah, they would hold a great big 3-pronged stick out.
A bag. It would be a bag.
Well, but he didn't grab a bag. He grabbed one
No.
little thing. What they do? Lay it on the stick?
They'd have to stop the train for me to go back and put it on the stick.
Yeah. What they call that guy in the back? Caboose man? What they call the?
Well,
They
I
got
know
rid of
there
him.
was a name. They got rid of him.
Yeah.
And ask Mitchner. He knows everything.
This knows everything. He was a caboose man.
Yeah.
Oh, Marion Ponder again.
This was Ponder.
And the boys are,
That's Kenny Hedinger.
second one from the right is Kenny Hedinger.
This we should know. We should know these guys.
This second from the left looks like Steve Hooker.
Possibly. What do you have on that?
Who'd Mr. say they were?
All I had was Marion Ponder.
No, it's Kenny Hedinger.
Second from right, Kenny.
And that might be Hooker.
Steve, looks like Steve Hooker, second from the left.
Who's this boy? He's redheaded with freckles. You can tell.
It's not Jim Wright, is it?
Well, he's your buddy. Could be, couldn't it?
58.
Something be pretty close to your age, wouldn't they?
Oh, yeah. The kid here on the right looks familiar. Next to Mitchell Ponder.
High school play at the Old North Ward.
Mm-hmm.
58. What class would that have been? That would have been 58 class.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who would be in that class.
I'm surprised I didn't have any names on this. This is quite an elaborate set. Are you sure this is the Old North Ward?
Yes.
That's where I used to have plays.
That's the old
I know
North.
they had plays there. They had
Oh, yeah, we used to have
Yeah,
sets
that's
there.
yeah.
We did sets there.
I mean, this is a pretty
On a-
elaborate set.
I
You
don't
got,
think it's new high school.
you got a refrigerator. You got this sliding door. You've got a
Well, you got to understand, Dave,
stove
back,
over there.
back in 1958, there was nothing else to do.
Yeah, they built a set.
So this was a big deal. Doing parades, making floats was a big deal. We never had smartphones or 48,000 different sports activities.
Well, just know that that stage at the old North Ward was not very big.
Oh, I could fit. I think
Yeah, I could fit that on there.
I saw
It was
stuff.
deeper than what you really think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but width wise, that's a pretty
Well,
wide.
I
Well,
think
no,
that's about it.
yeah, that's about it. That's width.
You know where the players had to come up and down. They had a spiral staircase.
Mm-hmm.
They had downstairs. They had to come up to the
Yeah,
stage.
that's back over here on the right was the spiral staircase. There was a room on the left with the door that came out to the seats.
58 yearbook would show the play.
I've got 60 and 55, 50. I may have a 56.
You have a 57.
No, got a 50.
Statler Brothers sing a song, class of 57.
Yeah.
Yeah, this probably isn't as wide as it looks because this panel here is vertical. These others are horizontal.
Yeah, I would say that stage was 50 foot across.
These are probably 4 foot flats. So you've got
We got 100 kids up there at the 8th grade graduation.
that's only about 20 feet or so, I guess.
Yeah, I'd say it's a 40 feet wide to 50. That's my guess. Well, there they are. Look at that wallpaper. They blend into the wallpaper. I can't tell who they are.
And
Man,
the sofa did too. Yeah, I don't know who
Here.
these people are. I don't have any names on this one.
I'm gonna throw a tomato up against the wall.
must have.
It's the dog. Wonder what this is over here on the wall.
Well, that's what I just asked Ingo.
Yeah, it's a blemish.
Maybe on the negative.
Oh,
Okay.
here we go. God,
Marianne Holstein on the
Holstein,
right.
Marianne
So
Holstein.
this is more. It looks like Marianne Holstein
Yeah, it does.
You talking about second one from the right?
all the way to the right.
No,
But
all the way to the right.
if this
All the
is
way to the right.
58, it can't be.
Can't be her though.
Looks like this one looks like the Miller girl, Larry Phillips' wife. Barb Kearns,
Possibly.
Joyce Reeder.
Standing by the stop sign looks like Charlie Whalen. But was he principal at that time? I don't think so.
No,
Look how the front of the building's changed. Anderson's and the dime store.
Yeah, because there was a corner entry here. That's all.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, this was Orange Five and Dime when I was a kid. But when you guys were kids, it was Anderson's.
Mm-hmm.
got any names?
Not on this one. I do on the next one.
Holy cow!
How do you get a name out of that?
We can't
I
even
just
see.
have one.
We can't even see it. There's the old telephone office torn down.
Who you got there? Who's your name?
Mary Toomey Freeman says it's Esther Skinner in the middle.
Well, I was gonna. It looks a little bit like Essie, but it's not clear enough to actually say it is.
Is that Jack Wellens over there?
Yeah, Fat Jack Wellens,
Fat Jack.
police.
Blow that up again.
That's police chief over there, Jack Wellens, I think.
Right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's smeared. That could be Esther.
Yeah, it's a little blurry.
I don't know these young men. Is that some sort of
You know what? That is Charlie Whalen. Underneath the stop sign, it looks like Charlie Whalen, doesn't it?
That does look like Charlie Whalen. It really looks like him.
I don't think he was here in 58, but
Yeah, these are some group they brought in.
that's Steve Hooker.
Yeah.
No, that's Phil Stallsworth driving that, isn't it? It's either Phil Stallsworth or Hooker. I think it's Phil
But I think it is Stallsworth.
Stalley.
And it says what? Stolly Special.
Yeah,
And Hooker's his buddy. Is that Orson Moorhead?
could be Orson behind him, getting ready to arrest him for driving out a license.
Okay, hang on a sec. We're looking in the background. Huh. Isn't that neat? Everyone came to town. Everyone wanted to watch the parade.
Wonder if that's a pedal car, you think, or
I doubt it. Probably motorized with all that weight.
yeah, it does have a lot of weight on it.
If I know Stalley, that had a 350 engine in it.
Probably.
That looks like Betty Smith and Boots Goodwin.
I thought it was.
You know who's down the lower right hand corner?
She looks familiar.
Candy Hooker. That's Steve Hooker's
Sister, big sister.
big sister, married a guy from Newman.
She was
Hooker
pretty
and
girl.
was it Hooker and Powell at the car dealership?
Yeah,
Chevy.
yeah. Now that's right there in front of turning the corner at the community building.
Right over there's the meat locker.
There's the old meat locker. I didn't know Betty Smith.
No,
Or the other girl.
that Burl Green.
No, I don't.
I got a lot of comments on this picture.
Did you?
Yeah.
It must be someone's grandmother. Train blocking the tracks.
Kurt Turner says, my mom, Ruth Turner Wiesner, middle back.
Okay.
Karen Hackett says, Pete and Edna Ford in front seat and their daughter Wanda in back seat next to Ruth Turner. Could be Helen Seipworth on far side. And Kurt Turner says, think that is my aunt, dad's sister, Estella Hall, who lived in Indiana.
And the couple driving the car, their name's Ford in the front seat.
Pete and Edna Ford, according to Karen Hackett.
Hear that name?
No.
So Michael and Jackie Whitty says, my Aunt Ruth and cousin Helen, the Hackett's were related on my dad's side, the Sipes.
Yeah.
So a lot of names on that one.
Yeah.
So this is probably, there's the railroad track. So
The Washington Street crossing.
Yeah, that's Washington Street.
I assume that little building's not there anymore.
No.
Pretty cool picture though, I think.
53 Ford right behind. Is that a 52 or 3 Ford?
I wanted
54.
to say it's about a 54. It had a fender skirt on it.
It
See 'em?
did. Yeah.
Which
Chevy.
is unusual. It's about a 51
I'm gonna say 3.
Chevy. That's an old Chevy right
Yeah.
there.
Could be a 50.
This is in the 50s Ford.
There's a Woody. Looks like.
Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it?
If
All
you-
right.
I think that's a pretty typical 1958. Well, hang on, just lost my. Let me see if this works. Okay, it's back. I lost my Zoom.
Yes.
That is Esther Skinner in the middle by the pole.
One of the Nun twins climbing.
Oh, this is from that church thing we had the
A
other
Nun
day.
twin.
Yeah.
Esther Skinner at the pole. Looks like Larry Culbertson somewhere. That's
So
not.
you said church thing? I thought this was at Irvin Park.
It
It
is.
is at Irvin Park, but I
It's-
suspicion that it was
It was one of these churches that Bill never was inside.
Sunday school class or something
Pres-
had a
Presbyterian church.
Mhm.
which Bill never made inside the church.
Nice picture outside one time.
Yeah.
I remember this merry-go-round.
I do too.
Insurance company said, get rid of it.
Yeah, it was dangerous.
If
Look
the,
at it.
if
Those
the insurance
kids,
company
it's
had their way, there
dangerous.
wouldn't even be a park.
I think I remember it. There was another merry-go-round on the
There was only one like that one.
no, but there's one that didn't have the long pole and these sidebars. It was just lower, had like a pipe type railings. It may still be out there.
We get on the outside of it and get going as fast as we can,
Oh,
try
yeah.
and jump on it.
Jump. Yeah,
I remember we threw you all out to the road one time, got going so fast.
landed on my head.
Well, I think that's Janet Abney. I could be wrong. And over the right is Kellogg. I think married Eddie Miller.
You think?
I think.
This is Kellogg.
Kellogg on the right.
She married
Ed Miller.
Ed Miller.
On the left, I want to say it's Janet Abney, but I don't know.
Well, I didn't have any names, so we'll take your word for it.
Oh, Harry Connor in the middle. Bill,
Last Dick
Carl
on the far
Connor.
right.
Look at all the Connors right here.
Yeah.
3 Connors in a row. Carl,
Betzel, Carl,
Betzel, no,
Ed,
and Harry.
Harry. But isn't that last Dick?
I think it's Les Dick on the right. Looks like they're cooking up some paint.
Yeah.
Donner Brothers. How many were there? 4?
I don't know. I have to ask Kevin.
Kevin should.
I forget.
Kevin says Uncle Carl, second from left. Dad Harry Connor, I think, fourth from left. Rudy Huber says left Dick on the right. And Tim Hole says Bill Betzel on the left? Question mark. And
Yeah, we got them all except for the guy with paint.
Yeah, Barb Anderson Roberts says yes, that's Bill. And Susan Betzel Stady confirms yes, that's her dad. Jan Smith says Daddy Les on the right for sure. I think next to Dad is his friend Russ Romine.
Russ Romine. Don't know Russ.
And Rhonda Fair says when I first glanced this morning, I thought it was Ronnie. And Jan Smith says, yes, Dad and Ronnie did resemble one another, and they had a good time doing their James Dean impressions.
I missed that.
Yeah, we didn't see the James Dean impressions.
Shane Gould says, I think the photo was taken at the old bus barn on Carrico and Pinson.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of comments on that picture.
Yeah. A lot of history right there.
Yep. Oh, me.
Looks like either the county board or the supervisor of assessment group.
I don't have any names on this, but that's the courthouse, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. It could be that assessment committee.
I thought the window, around the window looked like the courthouse, but I didn't remember these round.
Oh, no, that's the courthouse. That's the courthouse.
I didn't remember this.
Stinger. Big tall fella. I think is a Stinger.
Well, he was county board member, I think. Harley Phillips.
That's Harley. Our mailman on Ohio Street when Caleb was born.
Good guy.
Yeah,
Nice,
really a
nice
fine
guy.
man.
A lot of comments on this picture.
Oh, yeah. His daughters, Jane and Bonnie.
Always wore his hat crooked.
He was a dandy. Good guy. Good guy.
There's the tornado when it hit Newman. Just kidding.
Yeah.
There's Fullerton Elevator.
That's a good picture right there.
That's dramatic.
Yeah.
You have one coming up that actually shows the tornado coming down.
Yeah, this is 62 or 3, I think.
Mike and I sat down by where the new dentist office is and watched that elevator burn.
Yeah.
Well, this is was in the 58 envelope, so I'm assuming 58.
Yeah, the tornado came through though in the
62.
60s, 2 or 3.
Well, there may have been more than one tornado.
Well, that's true.
This one, you see that when we get to it, you see the tornado up in the sky. It doesn't look like it necessarily touched down.
That's a menacing sky, I'll tell you that.
That's the Fullerton elevator.
Right.
Somebody's got a black Cadillac there in the front of the picture.
What year did that elevator burn?
That was in the 60s, I hate to say.
No, I think it was early
70s?
70s.
70s, yeah.
Very early 70s.
I don't remember it,
Yeah.
but I'm younger than you guys.
Well,
A lot younger.
a lot younger. Well,
Yeah, why don't you bring it up a little bit?
yeah.
Pound
Rub
it
it
in.
in.
Pound it in.
You know, there is something about your eldership that is wiser in some cases.
Here's the good news about Bill and I. We're going to be out of here a lot sooner than you. And you're stuck with the
We
crap.
might need to be.
Yeah, I hope so.
Look at the water.
Not necessarily.
Yeah,
See, there's fender skirts on that car.
yeah.
Most kids don't know what a fender skirt is.
Well, they're just hard to put on, take off. I'll tell you that. If you have
Well,
a
yeah.
flat tire.
Oh man, they were tough.
Well, we had fender skirts on our 77 Chrysler.
Well, if you had a flat tire, those things are.
I had fender skirts on my last hearse.
Did you?
Yeah.
You're the last of the fender skirt guys. Yeah, there's the tornado.
You must be on a different picture than I am.
No, you said the next picture is a tornado.
But I didn't say the next. I said coming up.
Oh, you're right. My hearing's going. What'd you say?
What?
What?
Do we know who those children are?
I had
We do.
Mark Petty and I had a court case one time where one of the lawyers from Arcola was really old, hard of hearing, and he had a guy on the stand that was so hard of hearing. He wore sunglasses and he had a great big voice box that hung around his neck, with the thing. And he asked him, he asked the guy a question. The guy goes, "What?" And the lawyer went, "Hey." The guy goes, "What?" He said, "Hey." It went back and forth about 4 times, and Judge Sherry started laughing. Huh? What? Hey?
Okay, who are the kids?
But
Well, we got a lot of comments on this photo.
good.
Danny Matthews says Ellen Matthews with me, Danny. Lauren Matthews with Rena Matthews Kane sitting in front of the insurance office.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be darned. Later on in life, it seems like he had a magazine shop or something in that same place. For some reason, that enters my mind. I don't know why.
I always like it when we have pictures of people recognize themselves. Bring back some memories for them.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay.
There's a memory.
We got them all here.
Yeah, pretty much.
On the far right is Lasky.
Carter.
No, second one is
the
Forrest.
Carters is
I know.
Carter. Forrest
First
Ziegler.
one is George Lasky, Forrest Ziegler, Carter. Skip it. Oh, that's
Carter Morris.
Dotson, Adele Dotson.
Adele Dotson.
Fourth one. Fifth
Mary
one is
Pankey,
Patty Powell.
Powell, Ed Cox.
Ed Cox, Carnine, married to Madigan.
Okay.
Not sure. It looks like Mike Lemna.
Yep. Pretty good on that one.
Yeah, I think there's the one you didn't have. I think I also don't have. Kurt Turner says second and third from left, Carolyn Jackson Morris and Sue Carnine, I think.
You got Sue Carnine, but I did not
I think
get
Carolyn Jackson Morris is the one you didn't have.
I didn't get Carolyn Jackson.
Okay.
That is who she is. I don't know who's standing with the sunglasses.
The instructor, pool manager.
Mike Limna says, wow.
Yeah.
What does that mean, Mike?
I talked to Adele Dotson.
She's a pretty
It's
girl.
been several years ago.
Yeah.
uptown on the corner. She and I forget who the other gal was with her. But yeah, she was a pretty gal.
Sue Carnine married Phil Madigan, farmed up north. Mike Lemna was out in Washington or Oregon.
Oh, I don't know.
Printing business. I lost track of Patty Powell. Betty was in my class. They were USI folk.
Bill Powell was her dad.
Mm-hmm. Vor Ziegler lived, nice guy. Always liked his haircut.
Kind of a DA.
Yeah.
Ed Cox, where'd he go?
No, okay. I think second. Okay, I don't know where.
We had a similar picture to this last week.
I think second from the left is Glenda Cook, and the far right is her sister Christine, and next to Christine is Stallsworth, and next to Stallsworth is Steve Hooker.
Who's in the car?
Who is that in the car? Ed Curley?
No, I don't think so.
Well, I think that's Glenda and Christine. And Stolly and Hooker. And I think that's taken down by, is that down by where you used to live? Is that Weber's two-story thing? Yeah, because Glenda lived on that street.
Oh, she did on Ohio or Daggy?
Well, she lived at the corner of, it's where that yellow house is now.
It's on the corner. This is looking back at Bernard's building.
I think so. Maybe the back of it. But Glenda and Christine grew up on down by the South Ward.
Houghton.
Ohio and Daggy. Is it Daggy?
Yeah.
That's in front of Baptist Church. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how he's got his racing helmet here.
Two-story Victorian.
Yeah, he's ready to go.
Hey, you got any names there?
No, but we had some of them last week, and I think we had some of the names last week. But
I never saw this one last week.
not this particular one. This one has more kids in it. We had this one last week.
Ed Geyer.
Similar pictures last week.
His rings were loose and he's burning oil. He put about a quart every 3 blocks in.
That was good for us.
There it is.
That stuff. There's a tornado.
Is that a water spout? Or is that
what they used to call those, wind devils? Or
no? Well,
I don't know that's actually a tornado, but it's.
We had one of those we were playing golf during.
We played Savoy one time when one went over. We never stopped.
Kind of
longest drive I ever hit. Wound up in Quebec.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's a tornado. Just maybe.
Yeah, could be.
Turn into a tornado.
Hey, look at the parking meters.
Well, they went through in the 50s and 60s.
Bill, you had to bring up the meters.
I won't bring it up then.
It's fine. I almost said it the last time we saw them to say, Mike, tell us about those parking meters.
We may have some new listeners, David, that haven't heard some of my shtick.
That's fun. That's right. Go ahead, Mike. I'm just teasing you.
Is that
By the way, that black Cadillac.
That's about a 58, 59, 60.
Might even be before that.
57, 58.
Man, a Cadillac was a great car.
For our new listeners, sometimes we see the meters and sometimes we see the poles without the meters. The city kind of went back and forth on because people. You tell the story, Mike. It's your story.
Merchants were sick and tired of people parking all day there, like the people who work there. So the solution was put in parking meters. And then the merchants complained that nobody came downtown because it cost money to park. So they took them down. Then they bitched about everybody parking all day. So they put them back. They eventually went to a system. It was so expensive to put the meters back and forth. They went to a system where the police actually came along and marked your tire with white chalk.
Yeah.
And then came back 2 hours later and gave you a ticket. It
was big time.
Yeah. And so guys like Alvin and the Cohens would go move their car about a spot and then turn their wheel where the white was gone. People gained it. Yeah, merchants never happy. If it was a slow day, it was either because there was meters or because there was no meters. Couldn't make them happy. There you go.
Boy, did it just rain there or what? Look at this.
Wet concrete. They just poured some concrete.
Just so they're standing in it.
Should we
It's
know these people?
Just on top of the, yeah, it's just on top of the surface there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they washed it.
I've got a feeling that probably just down around Hugo. These boys have been working.
Dad and son.
You have a name?
Carol Chambers says, that is my uncle Paul Moore and my grandpa Walter Moore. As you can tell, hard workers.
They are hard workers. Well, I used to do that. People came around and hurry up and pull my shirt out and mess my hair up and throw water on my face whenever the boss came around.
And you said that was Carol Chambers?
Yeah.
Carol Chaplin.
Carol Chaplin.
Yeah.
And these
Her
were
mom
Moors.
was her mom was a Moor, I think.
But I don't.
We knew the Moors that out at Ficklin. Was it Roscoe that had the restaurant out at Ficklin?
Yeah, I think so.
That was the granddad of.
I wonder if this is what kind of building. It looks like a church, maybe. Can't tell.
Does look like a church.
Well, Linda Moore and here we go.
Oh, that's at Kemp.
Yeah, that's the Hayes brothers. Yeah.
Hayes. That's at Kemp.
You get a Coke and a little food there back in the day.
Yeah, post office. We used to go down there and get our Michigan cherries. I was in Kemp last night.
That's about where you belong, pretty much.
Probably.
Back in the 50s, 60s.
This was a booming place during that time. That's Carter Hayes.
Yeah, Donna Smith thought it was Carter or Glenn Hayes. David Kent Cloy said Hayes Brothers Stores, but he didn't think the man was one of the brothers.
Well, I just shot that out there. Carter Hayes went to church there.
Yeah, don't think
Marilyn
shoot it out.
Yeah.
Whatever's up there, you could be president.
Marilyn Little says, Glenn Little says that is a picture of Glenn Hayes.
Glenn Hayes.
Shoot it out. You want to do
Carter.
law? You want to do law? Just shoot it
Yeah,
out.
there you go. Just shoot it out. Someone's working at the store now, trying to do something with it, develop it. The building's still very much there.
Yeah, building's still there, and apparently they sold a lot of eggs out of this building. Had a post office there.
Oh, yeah.
I keep losing my
Post office.
Garrett had a post office. My aunt ran it. Jerry Hoy.
Kind of almost looks like Tamronil down there.
I was going to say that's Lewis right there.
Judy?
Judy Lewis. Blow it up. Could be. Go back up. I don't know.
Who's the lifeguard?
I don't know. I didn't have any names on this one.
Okay.
Well, if I can get it to, there you go.
No, that's Esther.
Esther Skinner in the middle, and that's the
Summerlot.
Summerlot.
Debbie Summerlot.
Debbie Summerlot. This girl must have taken one in the knee.
Those buildings are all gone now, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That one's the twins right there.
Can't tell.
Cooley back there.
So this would sort of be right outside the community building.
West side of it.
So this would be Park Street.
Right. That's the Robert Smith Memorial Beltway right there. The curve. We named it the Robert Smith Memorial Beltway back when I was
For
doc,
those that don't know Esther Skinner, she was Gus Fletcher's oldest granddaughter.
Mhm. Bill and Helen Skinner's daughter, Greg Skinner's sister, out in North Carolina,
South Carolina.
South Carolina. Well, that might have been,
Is that after the fire or before the community building was built?
well, community building was built when? 59?
58,
58?
something like that. So they were tearing this down.
Yeah, the Opera Building burned. I don't know what was there after the Opera Building. I don't know.
So is this the old Journal building on the
Well,
right?
On the right would be in that proximity, yes.
Or was there another building?
This is that street that had a restaurant, insurance buildings. I mean, down from the
Right.
vault. You're going west from the vault.
Right. North
is
Central.
so? Anybody say?
No.
You'll notice there's a parking meter there, and I'm not gonna say another word about
But
it.
they're parallel parked, which is interesting. It's not pull in, it's parallel. I'm trying to think.
Oh, you know what? Go back to that picture again. Is that Kelsey back in there? Where is this at?
Well, that's what I'm looking at this. Oh, I
Oh,
know
yeah.
what it is. They tore down the old telephone
Yeah,
office.
yes.
This is
Okay.
next to the dime
Five
store.
and dime. There's that Harrison J. McCown's law office right behind it.
Yeah,
Nichols, Jones, McCown, Lincoln.
yeah. That's why they're parallel parked.
Well, this is not where we thought it was.
No, no. I was thinking it was down from the vault, but it's not. That's
Yeah, you recognize that building in the back.
the building on the right is still there. It's now Chris Hill's offices. It was a Dollar General,
Dollar General, five and dime,
5 and dime,
Woolworth.
and Anderson's on the corner.
Nothing here. I don't have any name.
No,
There was something there. It just,
That looks like the same picture we had before.
I
Yep.
think.
okay, blow that up a little bit. Right there. Go back a little bit. Right there.
I think this is part of that group, and they were doing some lifeguard practice things. That could be you back here saving me
That
from
was
drowning.
Yeah, you were going under. I don't know why you were going under.
Meaning,
Go back to that. Now blow it back out. We'll see if we can tell who the lifeguard is.
it's that same lady.
You got somebody here praying, and or diving.
Well, she's timing them. I don't know what they're doing.
What's going on over here?
Two guys.
Well, that was-
two guys.
that was us.
Ingo quit breathing,
Yeah,
and I was giving him mouth to mouth.
yeah, he rescued me.
I like how it says it's deep.
Deep.
That
Doesn't say
is.
how deep.
It
It's
was
just
deep.
Oh yeah. I'd go off the high dive and go straight down and broke my hand a couple times in the bottom. They're worried about that drain. You get down top of the drain, it'll suck you down there.
You
and then-
forgot. I remember that drain.
Yeah, it must be swim lessons because this is the diving area.
Yeah.
So that is deep. You can't.
I do. I think it's for the lifeguards. They were practicing.
They were practicing. I don't know, why'd they get rid of the high dive? Insurance company again?
Well, I thought it became some sort of insurance thing and the
Nobody ever got hurt though.
state complained. Well, it's like monkey bars at a school.
Yeah.
Although people did break their arms, who knows?
Well, you got
It's just the insurance got so high, it wasn't worth keeping it.
Right.
My sister did, might have broken her toe on it.
That hurt.
Yeah,
well, you got to toughen up somewhere.
yeah. That's it.
That was it. Well, that went by just like nothing.
Marching days. Parades were a wonderful part of growing up, weren't they? You could always see friends you knew
I know,
and roam the town.
I don't want to tell the story because I probably told it before.
Really?
That's all right.
I bet I've never heard
About you and your boys.
it. What did we do?
I was in charge of the parade in the 70s, 77, 78. And I worked for like 3 months. I put in tons of hours as a lawyer. I got all these people, and I talked to the Paul Valadinaham from Champaign had a group of guys that were old mountain men. And he said I had to pay them $1 a shot for their big muskets because it cost money. So I said, I'll go up to $50. So the parade was starting. I was worn out, and I'm standing down by the German hospital, and you're there. How many boys you have in 70? All 3 boys.
No. Oh, I only had one.
78, just one.
In 78, only one.
So we're standing there, Ingo, and I'm watching the parade go by. I'm real proud of all the work I did. About then, here come these musket guys with their David Crockett coonskin hats. They got in formation. They all fired their muskets, and your boy started crying. And you said, "What idiot had these guys in the parade?" I turned around, I almost knocked your head off. What idiot had these guys? And your boy's crying.
And I bet I laughed, didn't I?
Oh, not when
that was you.
not when the fist went right your face. You kind of grimaced. Yeah, I think I gave you a lecture.
I've heard that story.
I said, "You go put 100 hours in, you idiot." I think I said. We broke up for a couple of years after that.
I don't think I ever heard that story, Mike.
Oh, good. I got a new story out. Thank
True
God.
story.
Yeah. Can you believe that? What idiot
What idiot
had something like this in the parade?
had these musket loaders in the parade?
I said,
Or I was
think
probably at that parade because I didn't miss any parades.
I mean, I had the U of I marching band. I had the Chanute Air Force marching band that parade. We had 4 bands. People loved the big band. And the Shriners on their machines.
Yeah, little motorcycle like.
I remember saying something like, "How about next time you be in charge of it, you lazy idiot," or something.
I would have been in 8th grade.
Pardon?
I would have been in 8th grade.
Do you remember the
I don't remember the musket guys.
They weren't Revolutionary War. They were more,
Reenactors.
could be, but they wore coonskin hats and stuff, and they might have been the
Yeah.
reenactors. But they had these big muskets. They get down fire. I had to pay them $1 a shot. I said, $50 max, Paul.
Well, it'd take them time to reload those
As
things.
they marched, then they'd go to the next part and make kids
Oh.
cry.
And then
I don't. Yeah, Paul Vladingham was a lawyer up in Champaign. Nice guy. I talked him into coming down here. Worked my tail off. So I had $8,000 to play with, and Bob Hastings, who was getting out of it, said, "Buy trophies." I said, "Who for?" He said, "Everybody gets a trophy. They'll never come again." So we gave everybody in the parade got a trophy. For best walking, best dressed.
You know what that was? The beginning of some of the problems we have
Oh, I
now
started
with
it.
everyone.
I started it.
You
Yeah.
started it. What
Yeah.
idiot started that?
Everybody's
tell
valedictorian. Everybody gets a medal, participation.
What I remember from those parades during that time was Jim Higgins had like, I don't know how many wheel horse riding lawnmowers, but he had them all hooked up together like he was driving a team of horses, but they were wheel horse lawnmowers.
Jim was very public minded. Mike Rogers helped me. Mike Rogers was very, very public spirited. He's always out there. He was out there lining them up. We lined them up at the start of the where you go into Irvin Park, went all the way down, back around. It actually came back almost to the thing. It was an hour and a half parade.
You know, in 1978, $8,000 was a lot of money.
Yeah.
You could buy a house for $8,000.
When the Chambers asked me to lead it, they said Bob was getting tired of it, and there never was any money given back at the end. I said, so I went to Bob. Bob said, you use your own money because you got to buy a trophy for everybody. I think I ordered 200 trophies or something. It is, and you have to pay. Like I said, I paid $50 to those guys. The Shriners wanted $100. Everybody wants some money to come. The one good thing I did best thing I did was I put the horses at the end of the parade.
That's a good idea.
I got an awful lot of, they're old cars. They're people, you don't want your kid, you don't want Essie marching through
a pile of poop.
You gotta move, you gotta. Yeah, we had Monticello band, Tuscola, back when Tuscola had uniforms and a big band.
Yeah.
I think we had 5 bands, but the Air Force band was great. They played Stars and Stripes forever.
I think you were the best parade manager we ever
I made one mistake.
You only made one mistake.
I brought those gun idiots down.
You made my kid cry.
Your kids started crying, and what idiot brought those guys in the parade? You're nothing but just national tear duct. Bitch, bitch, bitch. My whole life, that's all you've ever done is Monday morning quarterback bitching.
And you say
I was a doer.
Oh yeah. And you saved my life in the pool there.
Well, it was a kiss of life. David, you missed it. You should have been born with Bill and I. You'd have had a hell of a lot of fun.
We did have a good time.
You'd have a prison record, but it'd been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And your parents would have sent you to military school along with Bill and Greg.
And you never had to go to church.
No, never inside a church. They were worried about thunder and lightning and the earth cracking in two. They made Bill stand outside during the whole church.
Well, I hope Alan Metzger enjoyed this show.
Yeah.
Did Bob Taylor comment on any of them?
Yeah, you need to get Taylor and Mitch on here. They get more.
They do it.
I haven't seen Bob today on commenting. Alan did.
Bob's trying to draw up basketball plays.
Bill's worried about Tuscola basketball.
Lost 3 in a row.
They haven't scored over 40 points, have they?
Man, they've had a tough time.
Are they holding the ball on us? Have they figured us out? We're a fast break team, or are we not pounding the ball into the circle? What are we doing wrong? You've been to the games.
Yeah, I've been to the games.
What would you do? You coach basketball. Get Parker James more involved.
Well, yeah, I've told you that on the side. I would get him more involved.
He's an athlete, isn't
because
he?
I think he's an athlete.
Yeah,
really do. Sawyer Woodard does a good job inside.
Would you pound it in more, or rely more on the 3, or just get James involved?
Well, we shoot a lot of threes, but basketball's changed. The offensive makeups have changed. It's they don't go down and
we don't pound it into Rick Gibson and Don Fortney
anymore.
anymore.
They don't. No.
I've got a lot of nice comments. I heard from Jeff Cunningham that watched the webcast and subscribed to the Chronicle to try to help support what we're doing. And
Jeff's a good boy.
Our sponsor this week is Elite Builders. Jeff also offered to help with the scanning of the photos. So
he worked for WILL, and he's very talented.
He did a documentary once
on the Johnny Corn Jerkers, whatever it was, that did the broom corn.
Job.
My Uncle Dean used to work behind the McCumber building to the south. They used to do broom corn right there. And Uncle Dean worked in there making brooms.
Oh, that one building, gas company?
Yeah, that old 2-story brick building.
Yeah.
He says, say hi to Mike. Didn't say hi to Bill, I guess, but anyway. He says,
well, I was,
his brother's one of my best friends. That's okay.
I was nice to the Cunninghams.
Well, he said you dated his older sister, Joellen.
Okay, I dated Joellen. Bill was one of my best friends.
Bill's one of my best friends too.
Becky said Bill's one of his best friends.
Yeah.
All 3 of us, I'm going to say this, I think I'm speaking for all 3 of us. When he got inducted into the Hall of Fame, we both about had an aneurysm. Puffer do.
Puff do.
If Puffer do can get in the hall, anybody can. We had his wife cornered one time. Skinner and I had his wife cornered. What was her name? Maureen?
Nadine.
Maureen. We had his
Something
wife
like that.
cornered. Nadine, 20 or 30-year reunion. We had his wife cornered. He had about 4 or 5 kids. And we said, now come on, tell us about Bill. And I said, this guy's never home. He's doing jerky stuff. He's getting drunk. He's passing out. He's going out the back window. He said, Bill is the nicest guy in the world. He's the best father ever. He said, no, not
No,
that
you
guy.
got
Not
wrong.
that guy. Tell us about Puffer Do. Tell us about this guy's irresponsible, blah, 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 blah. And she stuck with her story. And Skinner goes, man, she's sticking with her story. So Bill turned into, I think, his dad, who was a good dad. You know,
Oh, yeah.
his doc. He was very responsible, got a very responsible job, done a great job, good dad. I did say this, though. I did tell this story. So when he got in the Hall of Fame, they have a parade where you ride in the car. So I'm sitting there with Becky, and we've got Bill's young son, who looks just like Bill did in high school, and who says he gets in trouble for being ornery. I think it was Bill Jr. I forget his name. Great kid, but he was obviously on the edge. So Bill comes by. He's wearing a sports coat and a tie. And we yell at him, goes, hey, he reaches down and starts throwing water balloons at us.
That's
Going down
right.
right there in the big corner with us, throwing water balloons at us in the crowd. He hit some little girl with it. So he was letting us know that he snuck in the Hall of Fame under the radar.
Mhm.
And deep inside, he's still the old Puffer Do that we always knew and we loved.
The Cunninghams.
What a
on-
great family.
On Scott Street.
What a great family. All the kids were
What
great.
fun.
All the kids.
Yeah.
Susan, Teresa, the boys.
Used to be able to walk through the front door, all the way through the house, not meet anyone, come in the kitchen. There was always bread, peanut butter, or something on the counter. Fix yourself a sandwich, walk out
Yeah, but you do
underneath
that-
the carport and leave.
But you did that to everybody's house. I'm sitting there with, came back from the Army in Ann, and she said, somebody's in the kitchen. I walk inside. You came in the side door and you opened our kitchen door. We said, what the hell? But see, that's the only kid syndrome.
What idiot
That's the
left
only-
this door open?
That's the only kid syndrome. You just do what
Oh,
you
is
want.
that? Yeah, that's right.
You just do it.
Hey, Beck, you got
Your
any
wife-
food in here?
Your wife knows all about this. Audrey. But the Cunninghams, you could actually walk in, honestly, you could walk in the Cunninghams during dinner and sit down and just eat. Nobody says a word. It was the most open family. Betty Cunningham was a Catholic saint.
She was a saint.
There are these Catholic wives,
We
like,
should have made a movie out of the
I think of
Cunningham.
Betty Cunningham. I think of Colbecker. Raised all the Colbeckers.
Oh, yeah.
What was her first?
Mrs. Gobecker, yeah.
I think of, there's a picture in the paper of Rudy, of
Oh, Mary Kay Calmar.
Mary Kay Calmar, these Catholic saints that raised a big family and never complain.
Lucille Murray.
Dude,
I
we
didn't-
just
Betty-
don't hear it.
Betty Cunningham was always smiling. In fact, when Bill got in
Mhm.
trouble, she'd always say, Bill, and he'd start to explain and she'd wind up. He did a couple things that she never did tell Jack about. That was his fear that she'd tell
Well, he
Jack.
also did a couple of things that they never knew about.
Well, a couple of things nobody knows about.
There you go.
What's
But
that?
Hall of Fame, we love him.
I got it.
And Jeff, I always refer to Jeff as the normal one. Jeff's just an ordinary good guy. Remember? Just
Yeah.
a nice guy.
Yeah,
Lived up in
he
Urbana.
is nice.
Did a great, very nostalgic. He's the one that did a special. It was either for their anniversary or when his dad died, he did a big Cunningham DVD for some special event with his
Did he
parents.
do a Vietnam special deal?
He did a Vietnam where Mouse,
Mouse was
Mike was interviewed. in it.
Interviewed. Paul Wizavati was interviewed.
I think that was his.
Yeah.
He did the corn jerkers. He did about 3 or 4 really good. He was a very good producer and director.
Yeah, he just resurrected a WILL TV story that ran on a Prairie Fire series, featured Hayes and GS at Hugo. Is that the grade school? I don't know.
GS at Hugo.
Gonna put it on YouTube.
I would say he could help you. I would say he could You're very talented, but I think he could do about anything too. He probably would help you.
Yeah,
Only nothing like $1,000.
yeah. It's
Buy you a 3D. What do you need? A 35 millimeter what?
yeah, I found one for under $200, so I put in to purchase it since we've got the sponsorship money coming in to pay for it, and so hopefully we'll get that soon.
And when I say Jeff was a normal one, I mean among the boys. The girls were all good kids,
Yeah,
but the boys could be ornery. Peck's bad boy. Wouldn't you say?
they were, well, they enjoyed life.
I gotta,
How
I
come they didn't
gotta,
go to their school? You and Skinner.
I gotta add Lucille Murray to your list.
Lucille was a yes. In fact, you get thinking about it. These Catholic saint women, unbelievable. She raised all
Janine Dietrich.
those. Janine Dietrich.
I mean, how would the Murray kids have turned out if it wasn't for Lucille?
Yeah, yeah.
You've got a point. You've got a point.
There are these great Catholic families in Tuscola, the Hausmans, all those Hausmans up at Hayes. All of them turned out good. How many were there? 9?
Oh, I don't know.
One's a sheriff. I mean, they're all successful.
Well, you got to add Margaret Meyer to that list.
Well, it doesn't end. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't end. The families get a little smaller as you get more modern.
Yeah, let's see how many DeMeyers had. 3, 4, 5, I believe. 2 girls, 3 boys.
5 or 6.
Missing someone. Margaret was a nice
Oh,
lady.
she was Bob Utterback's sister,
Mm.
a nurse. I always enjoyed Margaret. She
Yeah.
was very, very. Wayne and Margaret were salt of the earth.
Good people.
Yeah, good people. Tuscola just has some great families. You could write a book on the great families of Tuscola. You couldn't be in it because you're an only child, and you're up from Golconda. But even though you're an only child, I would still put your mother there as a saint with Betty Cunningham,
Well,
because handling you was like handling 7 Cunninghams.
she's, I have to give her credit.
I think your dad
She did all right.
Your dad kind of kept you in line when you got big shorts.
Yeah,
didn't he?
you might say that.
Clarence maybe
Yeah.
let you know who was still boss man.
Yeah, I knew who was boss.
Did your 3 boys know who was boss, or were you kind of easy on them?
Now I'll give credit to my wife for the raising of those boys. And she did wonders with them.
Another saint.
Another saint. Yeah.
So were you
And she had me too.
she had to raise 4 of you.
She had to raise 4 of us.
Well, because you were an only child.
We get blamed for a lot of things. If
When
you're
Bill
an
and-
only child, you get blamed for
I
a
think when
lot.
Bill and Andre get sometimes in a little discussion, I think Andre may mention he
Oh,
was an only
geez.
child.
You might say that. You can repeat it. By the way, David, your own mother
Might be up there.
might be up there on the list.
We weren't Catholic, but we had a lot of kids.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, it was the Irish thing too. It was an Irish thing.
We weren't Irish either.
Well, it was before birth control thing then.
Saint
My dad just didn't believe in abstinence. So
Well, it's hard to do, but I mastered it.
so
Becky's grinning. Well, David,
we had 6 in our family, 6 kids.
I enjoyed the pictures, David.
they were good pictures.
We
That was
look forward to Thursday.
a blast from the past when the pool was the center of the summer.
Oh, man. And then a parade at homecoming.
And a suicide Coke at Gus's.
Yeah, you couldn't be.
And a double feature at the Strand.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we just forget the bad things. But man, the good things are still there.
Boy, the good things are always there. Yeah, it was very special. Very special.
Well, David, you do a good job, and really glad to hear Jeff called in, offered to help.
Well, if your childhood was so idyllic, how come you're so funny?
Well,
topic of my column this week. Whether you have to have misery in your life to be funny.
I read that. Well, you look at you as you stop and think about it. What's his name? Robin Williams killed himself.
Yeah.
I think there's comedy is an antidote to tragedy. You can laugh about it or cry about it, So I think some people, when you're overwhelmed with reality and things bad's happening, I mean, you can become a killer. You could become addicted.
It's hard for the rest of us to understand. Someone like Robin Williams, who was one of the funniest people ever,
Unbelievable.
and yet he suffered from depression.
Well, Jonathan Winters, probably the funniest guy of my generation, Jonathan Winters. And he jokes about the time they found him up in a statue and he was naked, and he had severe depression and bipolar stuff. Yeah, I think to be really, really funny, you have to have a little bit of, but you're funny. You have no tragedy in your
I was
life.
just going to say,
You've had a good life.
well, I've had a good life, but see, I look at things maybe a little different than other people. I don't know.
Well, you look on the bright side.
The contentment can mean many things, but
Just
it's like this snow. Now, take this snow out there. It's blowing right now. You and I'll be out driving here in a couple of minutes. And have you ever been in a barn lot, not a farmer's house, and there's a light there by the barn shining and it's snowing like that?
No.
There's something special about a scene like that. You can put that scene in your mind.
Some people
Look
think,
at the landscape when you're
here's the deal.
driving down the road at
here's the
the
deal with Bill.
farmer's house.
Some people see the glass half full. Some see it half empty. Bill sees it full. Bill sees it full.
I just watched a show, certifiably Jonathan. Jonathan Winters.
Certified.
Is it about Jonathan Winters?
Yeah.
I think he
Winters?
just froze.
Can you see me now? Am I frozen?
Yeah.
Yeah, you froze up.
Who was it about?
Who was it about?
Jonathan Winters.
Oh yeah, he was.
Oh yeah, he was hilarious.
He would come on Johnny.
Yeah.
He would.
He'd have Johnny Carson on the floor.
Yeah. Maud Frickert.
Yeah.
I saw him out there. They're all purple, oblong. Somebody else that was. I've always loved good comedians. Dick Shawn was nuts. Remember Dick Shawn?
He would go on. Didn't he go on Sullivan's show some?
Well, he was on the Mad Mad World, the movie Mad Mad World. He was the surfer boy with the shorts. Remember the Mad Mad
Well,
World?
Jonathan Winters was in that movie too.
He was. He was
Yeah.
the guy at the thing. But I mean, he had.
Well, you got to keep laughing.
He had Dick Shawn come on to Carson one time, and he's hyper. It's almost like they're manic depressive, and they're always in the manic phase. But he came on and he grabbed the coffee table and stuck it up, and he said, "John, King Kong's cufflinks." He just out of the blue, and Carson spits his coffee out over the thing, But you could give Johnny Winters anything, a hat or a thing, and he would go into a comic routine.
Yeah, he could do it. Oh, he was great. And you saw that show, you said? It was
it's on Amazon Prime.
Well, I don't do Amazon Prime. You got that Roku thing, don't you?
Yeah.
We haven't figured out TV yet. We haven't figured anything out yet.
We haven't figured out anything. I told you I went to a movie. I don't know how to pay to get
Bill.
to a movie.
Bill went to a movie first time in years with a friend from his church down at Camp Hemingway. Andrea, they double dated, hadn't been in the theater. He walks into Savoy 16 and they stand there because there's no one up there to take tickets. And they're frozen. Well, they have a kiosk right behind them that's a computer kiosk to buy your ticket. Well, these Luddites, they're frozen like there's no movie tonight. Finally, somebody comes out of the cheap seats from behind the popcorn shop and says he notices they're old, formerly military school graduate, only child, and they say, "Well, here, I'll
help you.
I'll help you. I'll get you tickets. I'll get you tickets."
Well, it is different. It used to be.
Oh no, really, really.
Mrs. Bowman's not standing there in the window.
Yeah, we're used to the ticket. Buy a ticket.
You got to take out a loan to go to the movies these days.
Well, they saw the Bob Dylan flick, which Mark Petty said it was a
Oh,
great flick, and
man,
you
it
said it
was
was a great
good.
flick. Yeah,
Yeah. It's a throwback,
It is.
61 to 65.
I,
We
da-
were
I
there.
dated Joan Baez, by the way.
Did you?
Yeah,
I wish I would have.
yeah, she starts singing. I'd move in for the
She
kill.
still
and
looks good.
She still does. Still sings good. Boy,
Yeah.
she had a voice, didn't she?
Oh, she was terrific.
We went up to Champaign. Used to have a Star Course Theater up there at the Assembly Hall. And they had the Chad Mitchell Trio, Peter, Paul, and Mary, and Joan Baez. And it was during this anti-war protest. We could never get some of the boys, like their dad was very prominent, said those are communists. Peter, Paul, and Mary, and Joan Baez.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was Bob Dylan was
The best thing about Bob Dylan
communist.
was Bob Dylan gave me hope that I could sing professionally.
Mhm.
I mean, if Bob Dylan could sing, lay, lady, lay.
Now, he put out some stuff later in later years that you can't even understand any of the lyrics.
No, he went gospel, he went country. What's he doing right now? He went electronic. What's he singing right now that's got everybody all upset?
I don't know.
Well, he's 82 years old.
Well, defend him. You're always defending Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
82.
That was our era, David. Come gather around people wherever you roam and admit the waters around you have grown. That was those heady protest days.
Boy, they were
Oh.
bad.
I know my dad liked Joan Baez.
She had a beautiful voice.
Yeah, I did.
I don't think it was her voice that
Oh,
drew him
attack.
in.
I see.
Oh, yeah, I get it. David, I've got to stretch my legs.
All right.
David, I think we're
We're done.
losing Nico.
All right. We'll see you next week on Remembering Tuscola.
See you, Dave.
Oh.